大家好，我叫陆阳安妮。UIC BNBO 的空调永远都是开得这么足，我已经有点瑟瑟发抖了。所以如果一会儿我在台上瑟瑟发抖的话，那请大家相信一定是 partly because 这真的很冷。好吧，显得有一些此地无银三百两了。但是我想说，能站在这个舞台上，作为一个很内向的 I 人来讲，这可能是我之前从来没有想象过的。它已经不光是一个 new experience， 它还对于我来说是一个 risky play。我不知道说一会儿我的翻译笔会怎样，我会不会脑子一片空白？他们都成了我的一些假想敌。但是假设我还有一次机会，我也会接住这一次能够站在这个舞台上的机会，因为它和我一直相信的，也就是今天想要讲的主题 "The needs for experience, the needs for risky play" 不谋而合。What do you want to do in the futures? What's your plans? This question has been asked over and over again at different stages of our life. As a child, I dreamed of becoming a police officer, simply because it seems cool. In primary school, I aspired to become a whirlwind girl due to my training in Taekwondo. And in middle school, my love of biology led me to dreams of becoming a doctor. Yet today, I'm studying public relations and advertising at BNBU, still facing the same questions. What's your plans after your master's? In my applications, I wrote, I plan to work as a health communicator in a non-profit organizations, but will this plan really unfold? I don't know. After all, I have already experienced 4 career shifts. Everyone tells us that life needs a plan. Without one, life is like a scattered sand. We're urged to defend our goal early, plan our life, make the uncertain futures orderly. But when I really reflect on this, I wonder how much of our plannings is truly deliberate and how much is driven by the fear of the unknowns. Overly fearing uncertainties make me afraid to try something new, delay actions, and fall into unending planning. Then I come to realize that probably finding our path requires rich life experiences, something that we as young generations are still lacking. So our so-called life plans is largely limited by our narrow cognitions. And perhaps at this stage of our lives, we neither need nor can make deep, meticulous life plannings. So I have decided to stop being trusted by endless anxieties over futures planning, and instead, I believe life isn't fully planned as art. It is shaped by experiences and thrills that are inherently filled with uncertainties. We need experiences, and more importantly, we need risky play. You might ask, why do we need to add risk to our experiences? Why would we choose the activity that pretty much guarantees that we will bring us with some troubles multiple times? Our needs for experiences, especially the experiences with risky plays, is actually supported by a series of studies. For example, study shows that risky plays is essential in the development of anti-fragile immune system. What is anti-fragile? This term was first coined by Nathan Taylor in his 2012 book, Anti-Fragile: Things That Gain from Disorder. He used this term to describe things that need to be knocked over now and then to grow stronger. And the authors of The Anxious Generations also pointed out that it refers this to a common trait of complex systems that was designed either by evolution or by people to function in the world that is unpredictable. And the ultimate anti-fragile system is the immune system, and it requires early exposure to dirt, parasites, and bacteria to build itself. So in other words, if we want to build an anti-fragile immune system, risky play is necessary. Our various environments shapes and refines our brain network into two systems that specialize in handling different kinds of situations. The first is the behavioral activation system, also known as discover mode. It turns on when we detect opportunities. And when in discover mode, our bodies are flooded with positive emotions and become eager for new opportunities. And the second is the behavioral inhibition system, also known as defense mode. And within defense mode, we're flooded with negative emotions like stress hormones, and our thinkings turn entirely to identifying threats and finding ways to escape. And these two systems together forms a kind of mechanisms that help us to quickly adapt to changing conditions. And we always have a default of overall systems. And now, most of us, the default mode is the defense one, which blocks new experiences. The rapid technological evolutions that brought smartphones and social media in everyone's hands around 2010s is the main factors contributing to the fact that people born after 1995 are more likely to stuck in the defense mode. Life on social media forces us to become our own brand managers, always thinking ahead about the possible social consequence of every photo, emoji, and comment we post. It seems that each action is not necessarily done for its own sake, and rather, every public action is to some degree strategic, forcing us to be in the defense mode, always thinking about the potential consequences. And now, let's take a moment to think about your most reasons to purchase experiences at the supermarkets. Did you instinctively open social media platforms like Rightnow or e-commerce platforms like Taobao to see others' reviews or experiences before purchasing a new product? In this digital age, technology has brought us closer together, but it also has made us more reliant on others' opinions and evaluations. How long has it been since you bought something simply because you thought it was really good? That types of decisions based purely on needing or likings without considering about others' opinions or so-called potential risk, it seems as a kind of risky play to date. A simple example, how often do you wander around the bestseller sections or picks a product because you think it's liked it by most people, and thus you think it's going to be a so-called safe choice? Nowadays, we seem to focus less on the inherent quality of the products or our own need, and more on what others say about it. Before making a decision, we start the process of risk assessment. What if this product isn't good? This defense mode and constant back and forth thinking elongate our decision-making process and delay actions. And this phenomenon is a typical example of decisions fatigue. The longer we deliberate, the lower the quality of our decisions. And it is just like choosing a TV show for watch during dinner. After thinking about it for too long, we will probably end up deciding whatever, just pick one from the trending lists. We seem to living in a state of overprotected shieldings, protections that comes from our parents, societies, and also ourselves. We constantly think about how to minimize risk, but perhaps what we need is just to be safe as necessary, not as safe as possible. At the authors of the anxious generation states, when the defense mode becomes the default, we're overwhelmed by pressures and imaginary enemies, leaving us dry and unable to take meaningful actions or make real changes. So, to break free from this, I actively changed my approach. So first, I started learning to be with myself, to listen to my feeling and recognize my needs. It means to make decisions that align with my interests. As I discovered my interests, I believe that my self-motivations and the task I face will get me forward in whatever way works. And second, I try to shift my focus to more objective data and letting fast to get my actions instead of being trapped in emotional and internal conflicts. And lastly, well, we are always taught that opportunity belongs to those who are prepared. I want to say we need to be adequately prepared. Learning some roles in our plans can reduce pressures, help us move into actions more quickly, and also open up more opportunity. And these reflections are inspired by my journey in cross-border e-commerce. Today, cross-border e-commerce like are common everyday things. But when you consider it against the backdrop of the COVID-19, how would you feel? At that time, people couldn't even leave their homes. How could the product sell internationally? Domestic delivery services were suspended. How could cross-border trade happen? In 2021, online discussions regarding e-commerce, cross-border e-commerce were full of discouraging posts and negative emotions. But when we took actions and started contacting delivery company and sourcing products, we found that it was entirely possible. What's more, due to the skepticism of most of people at that period, there were fewer competitors, making it a blue ocean of opportunities. And my curiosities about becoming a live streamer led me into this space. While we faced several challenges, we're quite lucky because we spend most of our time and energies on solving practical problems instead of getting lost in hesitations or endless plannings. In addition to the common challenges, as an introvert, being as a live streamer is also a personal risky play for me. Through repeated attempts and adjustments, I try to evolve from simply readings or following the script to sharing something more naturally. And this has also transformed the live streaming rooms into a more interactive and engaging platforms. This shift attracts more and more viewers in our live streaming rooms, with the audience size growing from single digits to hundreds and eventually thousands. My passions for live streaming was also crucial to this journey. I believe it was my lust for this world that helped me to keep exploring and pushing me into the discovery mode. And this is why I prioritize paying attention to our own feelings and needs. I believe these risky place experiences are the case in shaping my abilities, and it is through the continued trials and adjustment in the face of the challenges that I've been able to stand here today and share these experiences with all of you. All I want to say is that, as a young generations, rather than hesitating or getting stuck in the decisions-making phase and ending plannings, a base of unpreparedness can actually be beneficial. We need experiences to achieve self-discovery. And what's more, by putting ourselves in discovery mode, risky place becomes necessary to build an anti-fragile immune system and the competence we need along the way. Thank you so much for your listening.